It's December 4th, 2016, and this is the progress we're making at 3049 Bayshore. The Exor hedge is coming along. In the past 4 months, we've managed to trellis some Mexican flame vine. It's blooming and attracting butterflies. The Mexican flame vine should get on all the ironworks by next spring, I'm hoping. Our pots are settling in. They're just well grown. We change them up a little bit every once in a while just to keep it interesting. These are Tillandsias that Michele found, and she liked, little snowflake looking things. We mounted them on a pygmy date palm. Behind it is more of the Mexican flame vine we're trellising. This bed is just what Michele liked. She showed me what she liked, and we arranged it, or she arranged it. And this is what we've got. This bougainvillea is doing very nicely. It's got some good colors. The blooms come out orange and then turn to pink. The bromeliads and the grass looking plant, which is orange bulbine, I like it. It attracts butterflies and bumblebees, and the bumblebees are really cool. This is one of our problem children. We're trying to get the white bougainvillea to bloom better. This is a transplanted gardenia. It was on the other side of the yard. We transplanted 3, and 2 are still in the yard. The third one, it was just too crowded. I planted it in someone else's yard. This plant is an interesting aloe. Got a couple of those. Plumero. And just a different selection of bromeliads. And some other succulents. Some venca. A weeping bottle brush. Now, the palm trees, when we first started the project, had color issues and minor element deficiencies. We've corrected that. Even the large date palms are looking much better. They're huge plants, so it's going to take a year for us to get rid of some of the yellow tips. It is an orange yellow frond palm tree. The bromeliads in this front bed are doing real well. We're going to have a backup garden somewhere for spare plants just in case one goes south. They have pots frame the front door. There's another large bromeliad. Large bromeliads in this pot too. The Exor is finally the hedge is starting to look even and full. When the house was purchased, the beds were not looking good. This is a garden that Michele designed. These plants, these bromeliads, get replaced yearly. They have 6 months of good color, and then the color starts fading. but they're lovely plants. Sago palm, and then there's a lady palm. Rio discolor. And I guess they show the front door framed by some pots. Bromeliad pots at the front door. This one's got a little bit better color. The front yard garden. The golden dewdrop plant, the one with blue flowers, is a very wonderful butterfly attractor. And we got Ixora, crown of thorn, and tillandsia balls in the tree. The bromeliads here are something that Michele, pretty much all this stuff she picked out and had an idea where she wanted to arrange it, and it just happened. And this is the flame vine from the other side. It's something Michele saw, she liked, and I went out and found it. These plants are something her and her husband found at the farmer's market. And these plants, I think a few we found at a plant sale. A few orchids in the Schefflera. This is a neat little pot. Show the contrast to the 2-3 bromeliads in there. One white with dark with white spots, and one with a lot of white and a little bit of green. Now there's this, the fountain is where the new garage is going. This is a bougainvillea, which is finally starting to bloom. Must have heard Michele's threat to pull it out. The garden has bamboo. Doesn't look great, but it's nice if you need to stake something. You just go and cut some. This is the Klaus garden, where we put things that are sizing up or the leaves have got damage, and it's the plants like the area. It's just a good place for it. The pots around the pool are one of the first projects we did here. The full sun is just great for these plants. The desert rose responded really well to it. Crown of thorn. This one desert rose was recently moved, so it's starting to leaf out. I'm really liking the color on this crown of thorn. This pot was used, a plant from this pot was used as a spare plant. We had a bromeliad we moved out front and replaced it with some desert rose. Finding the larger succulents that do well has been a challenge. We've got flapjack kalanchoe on the left, and I'm not sure the name of this one, but it's a large plant, and it does good next to the larger specimens. We must have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 desert roses in here. Here's another succulent that it's starting to get a little bit pink color. This one's starting to get green red. So we're getting a lot of different colors with the succulents, and they just really love the pool area. The trial and error process, we're starting to nail down a lot of the light problems, the morning dew problems, and resolve them. This desert rose was in the front getting too much shade, and now after a month it's starting to throw nice large leaves on all of its branches. This is a new pot relatively. This plant was it just had too much morning dew on it for too long into the day, and I'm not seeing any more problems. It's starting to throw new leaves and should bush out in about a month. This is another desert rose. It's just saying I like the full sun. Another variety desert rose. Some more pots by the pool. And a cause for the ocean view, or intercoastal view. This is more of the succulent pots. I find things and interesting things, and we have a wish list, and if I find it, I get it, and if Michelle finds it, she gets it. This desert rose just really likes this full sun. It's just doing great. We put just transplanted it, another desert rose in the back, and it's starting to get new leaves. This is a similar bromeliad that we had pulled from the previous pot and put out front. But they like the full sun, and it's starting to get a little bit of red in it, which is interesting. This is something that Michele did with her ideas. The areca palms, the bromeliads, the flapjack kalanchoes. We always have plants for pots and we'll change it up when it's not looking so hot. We get a lot of leaves in this bed, so we changed it to crown of thorn, 2 different varieties, and it's recently planted. It's about a month old. Most of this stuff has been in a while. This is a bromeliad, recent bromeliad garden. Some of them are kind of old and will get pulled for healthier looking plants. Some plants don't take as much sun. Others like this one thrive in full sun. This plant maybe it just got moved to the full sun, but I'll give it some time and see if it gets its color back and starts looking a little bit healthier instead of yellow. This here is something Michele came up with. We went and shopped for plants, and just the entrance to the backyard. We're working on light exposure. The plants can only take so many hours of full sun, and we're figuring out the yard, what we're going to get as we go. In the trees, there's some orchids that are blooming. We've got some new hanging plants that are a recent addition. Down here we have our orchid workbench, or just our plant workbench. I'm not sure how the camera's liking that reflection on the water. The chicken really didn't like its place at the old house in the pool cage, but here it just went crazy, and it's just, you can't hardly tell that there's a clay chicken underneath it. This is a new planting, Thanksgiving gift, and it's newly planted, and we'll see how it grows in. Upstairs we redid the terrace pots, and they turned out real well. In the past we went with annuals. This time we went with the succulents, and varieties are like this. And all the pots, 5 of them,